In a town once lived a greedy and foolish merchant named Akib. He loved showing off his so-called intelligence, even though his thinking was shallow and immature. Akib owned an old but experienced camel named Saber. For years, Saber had traveled with him across long and difficult desert routes and knew the ways of the desert very well. One day, Akib planned a long and dangerous journey through the desert. Before leaving, he wanted to display his wisdom to the villagers. He decorated his camel and proudly stood in the town square, boasting about how he could predict the conditions of the journey ahead using his special knowledge. An old wise man, who knew Akib's nature very well, asked gently, "Son, you claim to carry all the knowledge in your mind, but what does your camel Saber say about the journey?" Akib frowned with arrogance and replied, "Sir, what can this dumb animal know? I have calculated everything perfectly. There is no danger today, and we will reach our destination earlier than expected." Just then, Saber began to behave strangely. He started scratching the ground with his front legs again and shook his neck restlessly, as if something was troubling him. Akib angrily hit the camel with a stick and shouted, "Silence, you useless creature! Stop this bad omen nonsense. Can't you see I'm talking to important people?" The old man said calmly, "Akib, pay attention to Saber. This camel knows the desert better than you." But Akib ignored his advice, laughed it off, loaded his goods on the camel, and left. They had barely traveled a short distance into the desert when dark clouds gathered in the sky. Suddenly, a fierce sandstorm appeared. The storm was so strong that Akib couldn't even see his camel. Sand filled his eyes, mouth, and ears. All his belongings blew away, and he became badly injured. The next day, some travelers found Akib half unconscious and wounded. They carried him back to the village. As soon as Akib reached home, he fell at the old man's feet and begged for forgiveness. The old man smiled and asked, "Akib, what lesson did you learn?" Akib lowered his head in shame and said, "Sir, I learned that pride blinds a person. An experienced animal's silent warning is more trustworthy than the fake intelligence of a proud man. My camel told me about the coming storm by scratching the ground, but I foolishly trusted my empty mind instead." From that day on, before loading his goods, Akib carefully observed every movement of his camel, and he never again ignored Saber's warning when he scratched the ground.